welcome to another wonderful episode of Planet Centauri with your host, Mr. Joker. That is me. Okay, guys, you're amazing. I really just appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching the series. I try to do my best to take care of all of the updates that come through the game and cover those for you. What I've been working on lately is of a pretty large magnitude, so that's why there hasn't been any videos. I've been doing a ton of research on all of the main bosses, and I'm going to go over each one, how much their health is, what level they are, how difficult it is to kill them, and which one is worth repeatedly trying to kill for farming purposes. Now, what's important about this is you need to realize I've done everything. I can kill them multiple times, no problems, but I'm trying to find the easiest way for you guys to do it. On top of that, I've also learned some different, some neat tricks on how to handle them best. So there are certain ones that have some cool little cheats to them that you can use to try to beat them as quick and as efficient as possible. Now, one of the other things that I've been doing is I've been playing with some of my armor a little bit. This doesn't work for the purpose of their any effects that they have do not come over and transfer to me. So this is not. I don't know what's going on here. I was told that it does, but I haven't figured out which effects are that. I've also been working on getting as many runes as possible and leveling those up. I've been working on getting plenty of chipped everything and trying to get these up to level 7 so I can show you what a level 7 magic looks like, because I want to see it too. On top of that, I've got rare stuff, legendary stuff. I got a legendary, where is he? Legendary Disciple last time. I'm just letting them heal themselves on their own, but I've also got a nice, super awesome trick for that I'll show you later on in the series. Now, to start, we're going to go somewhere that I feel is probably one of the first guys that you'll possibly encounter. He is the second lowest health. Doesn't mean that he's easy. It's the Necromancer. And he's in here. And typically these maze bases, as I like to call them, are directly under your spawn point. So keep that in mind. When you see one of these things, you can't destroy it. You can't break it. Get out of here, dude. You can't break any of this. It is permanent. But there is one entrance that you can find, and these things are pretty big. Let's see if I can pull up my map here real quick and show you what I'm talking about. They are pretty large. There is that a second one? No, that's where we're going to be heading over to this guy. This room here is the final room that you will see on occasion. It is a pretty simple maze. I believe they're all different. You'll notice a little bit of a faint line in here. Am I getting killed? No. Okay. You'll notice a little bit of a faint red line. I used some lava blocks to speed up the process of getting through this whole maze, and I'm going to speed through it real quick and show you how quickly I can get through it. The thing to note, again, is that my armor, and because of how much I've played this game, I've got some pretty high-end armor, all giving me at least 120 on each one, and this one gives me 100 minus the 25. So you do the math. And I've eaten every type of food there is to up my SP and HP to its basic level. So you want to definitely do that and try to get a good armor. Dragon armor, you're not going to get there yet because the Necromancer, I think, should be the first one you go for. And you'll want to get plenty of potions, and you can easily collect a ton of different swords without having to go with the dragon sword. There's a lot out there that you can farm and get, and you can actually level these up. You can actually make the gold sword by getting gold or silver, and you can farm those up a little bit and upgrade just by hitting the U key, placing it in here, and doing what it requests. That being said, let's head in. Now, I've blocked off certain areas. You'll see that these arrows push you in a certain direction. I've blocked off areas so that I don't run back. And I've also placed a bunch of other things here And I can one-shot kill a bunch of these things. One of the other things you're definitely going to want to need in here is you're going to... let me get through this first, because something to note before I move forward. These blocks here, they will break from the arrows, so don't think that they're completely safe. Something that you will have to have is a butterfly gem, because you'll be immune to fall damage. Because if I was to fall all the way down here, there's a high possibility of death. So definitely, otherwise you have to carefully land on each little ledge that doesn't have the spikes, which doesn't leave for much here. So you definitely make sure you have the butterfly gem, which you can find in other little mini dungeons without getting the boss, and random chests throughout the underground here. So have one of those. That's absolutely key. I also recommend having an Icarus necklace for any of these bosses. Maybe some you don't want it, but I find it useful. You also want to look at some of the skills you can build upon. One of which is dash forward, which I think is incredibly useful in this map alone, because there are different things here. Like, I've blocked off some spikes, but like, see this whole area here? Going like that is going to be your easiest way to get through, and it does use some SP, but again, I can just go through. Now, the other arrows will not break any of these wooden platforms. They'll go right through it. This particular instance here, you're just going to have to take damage unless you go to each ledge individually and try to get through it that way. It is possible to get through this whole thing without taking damage. I've done it. It takes a lot longer, and you have to be way more careful trying to get through this whole thing. But as you can see, I've set up a lot of different things. I can take damage. I've also made myself some heal magic, which heals... it's level 12? That can't be right. No, it's level 2, and it heals for 45 each. So a lot of mana powder would be good, which you can get from grinding the... I think I went over this before, but just in case... any of these things here, these stamina gems, is how you get the powder for that. All right, now we're right below where we want to be. So let me talk about this Necromancer real quick. He is level 50. He's got an interesting amount of health. You'll see here in a second. I'll try to survive for as long as possible. Actually, let's do that, and I'll talk about it while we go in. He has the ability to summon a lot of skeletons. And as he fires, he does fire a lot of fireballs. That thing there can take about half of your health. The best way to do this is if you've got lightning magic, as max as you can get it. I highly recommend doing that. As you can see, my health went down a lot. He also summons about 3 of these little orbs. Oh, jeez. There we go. All right. It eventually fades away, but because of how the room is built, you don't know which way it's going to bounce. There's a ton of skeletons, which is fantastic for us. He was a level 50. He has 1,504 HP, which is a really interesting amount. And he gives you 5,500 experience spirits, or ES, as I like to call it. I don't know what these are officially called. I'm just going to call it experience spirits, which can be used for a variety of things. That being said, we've killed him, and now the best thing that I found to use these guys for, because there's so many of them, because this little room is actually a really good place to farm. I like to use any number of my pets that I've captured and level them up. But you want to make sure that they're relatively strong, or have a long range, or if they're going to be a physical contact, that they're strong enough to take out a bunch of them. For instance, my lava golem, which if you're fighting this guy for the first time, don't worry about it. But in the future, boom. Now watch. He's getting a ton of experience, and he'll stay with me this whole time. And the other great thing about that is all the different things I'm just about to get. Sometimes you get a lot of runes. There's always a lot of skulls, but there's always a lot of gems too. Now let's look at what the Necromancer dropped for us. 4 different runes, emerald, and I believe, because we get it almost every single time, and you'll see exactly how many times I've killed this guy now. Here it is. It's a Necromancer orb. I've got 33 of them. So as you can tell, I've destroyed him a lot. Now this center wooden platform is not going to be here when he first logs in. There will not be a center platform. Keep that in mind when you go to fight him. Don't think that you're going to be able to drop down and fight him. It's going to be really tough because, like I said, having that extra jump there will allow you to attack while jumping. The other thing is that if you don't want to hassle with taking the Icarus necklace off, you can double jump and it'll stop you from jumping all the way up. Another way, once you've killed him, and let's say you want to come up here and use this to farm, this is a great spot. I highly recommend this spot to farm mobs, especially skeletons, because skeletons have a higher possibility. Ooh, that's a legendary right there, guys. That guy right there, that black one, that's legendary. This area here is a fantastic place to farm gems. Not gems, I'm sorry, runes. Because you can tell it's pulling in everything. Before we go forward, on the left here, you'll see that I've blocked off everything. So I've made it nearly impossible for anything else to spawn. Almost impossible. You will get a couple of those little floaty spirit heads. But ultimately, these are all skeletons that will keep spawning the more I jump. And if I just pick one spot here, more things will spawn in. Which is fantastic for me because, again, you can get a lot of runes. And I can level this guy. Boop. And then he'll just walk in and pick everything up. Like that. And we can get a bunch of this stuff. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now I can just leave him there and just keep jumping. And he'll more or less kill everybody. If I jump too much, there might be too many and he'll die. But like, I mean, I'm already getting a bunch of runes here. That's great. Alright, come over here, dude. The only thing I recommend is avoiding jumping over on this side. And the reason for that is that when he goes over there, he'll try to get the guy on the top, and they'll always get a hit on him when he drops down. Meaning, a skeleton will drop down from this ledge over here. He'll drop down and get the hit on whatever pet you're trying to level. So be careful of that too. I think that pretty much covers everything with the Necromancer. Again, he's got 5,500 experience points to give you. And as you can tell, once you've leveled up, I mean, I'm using a dragon sword that's level 7 with 144 crit. The basic level dragon sword without the other runes that I'm using, the 3 runes that I'm using, the basic level does 28 to 42 damage. It'll take longer, and you'll definitely need to use some health or at least some regen. I would try to save your health potions for some of the higher level bosses. I would definitely try that. If you can't, that's fine, but if you can, do that and use as much of the mana powder, or there are plenty of other potions you can make that are relatively inexpensive. These ones can be pretty pricey to make and kind of time consuming to find the pieces or the ingredients for them. So that's why I think using, and I'll show you here in a second. Let's gather this guy's XP and call him. And you'll be able to gather all these small crystals through all these different dungeons by breaking the crystals that are already stationed throughout the castle or the dungeon. Once you get those, you can use these to teleport immediately right back. You want to be careful though to have it up here on your bar, because if you use it, if you put it up here permanently, you might accidentally warp yourself away while fighting a boss. So always make sure to scroll right off of it or move to a different key here before fighting anything, because you don't want to be in the middle of a fight and transfer. All right. So what I was going to talk about was potion making right here. Here's all the potions and all the things you need to make it. These ingredients here are catalysts to be able to build some of the higher end stuff. Basic level things, which is 20 HP or 15 SP, You can find these green flowers everywhere. You can get flasks super easy by going to the desert, grab as much sand as you want, and then burn it up and make flasks. It's super simple. So you can make so much of this and then just spam the crap out of this if you've got the heal potion. All right? Super, or the heal magic. You can make higher level ones, but the ones that are going to be really difficult to use are these ones. This one's not so bad. You can get a lot of bat wings, but again, this flower and any of these ingredients can be kind of time consuming. That's why I highly recommend using the basic ingredients, getting as much of it as you can, spam the crap out of it, and you should be okay. As for armor and weapons, that's up to you. I've done, now that they've added to be able to see how high the crit is, it makes it a lot easier to pick a weapon. I've gotten a lot of these swords just from farming mobs. These Phoenix swords are all the way down in the bottom, down in hell. So I don't recommend trying to get down there until you've leveled up a bit. And by what I mean by leveled up is by building better armor as you progress. Getting different items down here, necklaces, rings of that nature, anything that you think might help you in your quest. Building armor. Here is an example of some silver armor. This level armor is level 5. If I hit upgrade, I can bring it over and I'll show you. It's level 5. It takes a lot of silver to upgrade it, but it's pretty good, right? I mean, you're getting an extra 144 HP added. It's no dragon armor. The dragon armor obviously is pretty expensive and takes a lot of time, but definitely recommend. One of the other things that the Necromancer can drop is dark armor. Dark armor, and I believe I've got, I think I've got the best armor possible right now on me. This is a level 6. Yeah, that's a level 6. These are level 4. This is a level 3. Oh, I thought it was level 4. Do I have a level 4? Nope. All level 3s. This is level 5. Yep. So it's going to take a lot of killing him to get higher level gear because it's random and you can't, as you saw, you can't upgrade it. And these ones only give you SP. Now this armor could be good against the final boss, the Master, but I haven't tried it yet and I don't really recommend it, to be honest, because I don't know exactly how much damage he's going to be able, how much damage this is going to reduce, considering that you can get a ton of HP if you use the dragon armor and give you an extra, boost in health, which I think is extremely important. That being said, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick, brief tutorial on the Necromancer. Again, I want to know what kind of armor. Actually, let's do this. I want to know what kind of armor you're using. What kind of weapons do you use? What's your best weapon? If you've maxed out your character and you've got a dragon sword, tell me about it. I want to know. I've been doing research. I'm trying to get a bunch of different runes, trying to max out the runes, which is very difficult. My dragon sword right now, I've been looking at all the different crits and how the different runes can affect it. So I'm working on that as well. That's going to take a while before I can master all of that stuff. In the meantime, let me know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below if you've discovered anything, any special trick with the Necromancer that I haven't discovered yet. Let me know. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you guys later. Stay groovy. I'm out.